What's going on, lads and lasses? Welcome back to 100% Mags. So, of course, it's ended at St James's Park. Newcastle 2, Bournemouth 2. And what a game. Another entertaining game this season for Newcastle United. And, of course, at one point in the game, it looked like, of course, it was going to be a defeat at the hands of Bournemouth. But out of nowhere, Matt Ritchie, the wily vet, comes off of the bench for Newcastle United into the game, and with only his second touch of the game, of course, getting the goal to equalise it at 2-2 in the game for Newcastle, and of course allowing us to pick up a point in the game. I've got to say, looking at the way that game played out, there was so many controversial decisions right, left and centre given in favour of Bournemouth in the game. Even when Newcastle had, our penalty looked at and then awarded, all throughout the moments of looking to see if they should award Newcastle a penalty in the game on the 58th minute, which Gordon ended up, of course, scoring from the penalty spot. There was a lot of controversial moments. They went through 3 different checks from Rob Jones, who was on VAR. And then, of course, it needed Michael Salisbury, the official today, of course, to go to the screen after Rob Jones telling them to go to the screen and look at it. And he even stood there for quite a while and looked at it, even though it was plain as day. You could see it without even having to struggle. That Bruno's shirt was pulled inside the box. It was a definite Stonewall penalty. And, they still were harping over whether or not to give it. That, for me, shows exactly how corrupt things are in the Premier League, how corrupt things are in English football. But, putting that aside, putting everything else aside, I'm happy at the end of the day, that we haven't come away from this game today on the end of a defeat. We have picked up at least a point. Yes, it's not ideal at the end of the day, because we would have preferred to have the 3 points, obviously. But, picking up a point is better than picking up a loss. And with that point, that does mean that we have 37 points out of 25 games played. It means that we are a little bit closer to Man United in 6th, and we are a little bit away from Tottenham, who currently occupy 5th. We're 10 points off of that 5th place in the Premier League. And of course, Bournemouth picked up a point, so they are in 13th place with 28 points. But looking at it, like I say, that game had a lot of potential there for to be a really good game for Newcastle to come away and winning. It was an entertaining game, don't get us wrong, but it was an entertaining game for some very controversial reasons. I'll say that. I don't know what, any Bournemouth fans think about that game. Let us know your thoughts, of course, down in the comments below. But that's my thoughts on the game. I'm just happy to see, that we haven't come away from this on the end of the defeat. But again, there is questions over players, being selected for Newcastle as well. Dan Burn, again, was, I've got to say, at fault for that Semenyo goal on the 69th minute for Bournemouth. He really was. He should have closed down more. He allowed him too much space. And again, the pace problem with Dan Burn, has been evident again in this match, just like it was with the game against Luton. We need to be playing Tino Livramento from the off. We cannot be using Dan Burn in that left-back position in games where there's going to be a pacey player playing against. We need to be using Tino Livramento in that position. Miggy as well, he had some moments in the game what were really good, and then he had, a handful of moments that were really bad. Unfortunately, the moments that were really good kind of, were outweighed by the moments that were bad. There was plenty of moments where he could have passed the ball off to another player, forward, and had a better chance. Instead, he went for the shot. So that again, that needs to be worked on, I think, with Miggy. Something definitely needs to be worked on there. But all in all, like I say, happy to pick up the 1 point in the game. At least it's not a loss to Bournemouth. But Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. As always, remember, hit like, share, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all for the next one. However, lads.